Guys, in today's video, we will discuss why your outer world is just a reflection of your inner world, and why, if you have some results in your life which you don't want to happen, the best way to change it is to work on yourself, work on your emotions and your thoughts. And that is the only real and actual way to make changes happen in your outer world. Well, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. On this channel, we talk everything positive and how to make your life good if it is not happening right. If you're interested in law of attraction, law of assumption, then you're in the right place. So there is this great book called Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I would highly recommend everyone to read that book. And the reason is because that book gives you the scientific understanding of how the universe is unfolding from one second to another, right? Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about quantum science, and one very important concept or one very important experimental detail which he shares with us in the book is about how the reality functions. Now, in the quantum world, quantum physicists have been trying to prove this thing from a long time, right? And they have done a number of experiments. So the first experiment, which is a very simple experiment which they have done, is they have used um, equipment called as random events generator, right? And in the random event generator, the behavior of that equipment is completely random. So there is a robot. He was kept in a cage, right? And he's allowed to do free movement in that cage. Basically, he can go anywhere in that cage. And what then these physicists were doing, they were just recording the movement pattern of the robot, right? And what they observed, if they have recorded the data for a couple of days, it was a completely random movement going anywhere. But then they kept a cage full of chicks, newly hatched chicks, right? And if you know anything about chicks and ducks, right? Chicks of ducks, they follow their mother. They have something called as conditioning. This is their survival instinct. So they just follow the mother wherever the mother goes. If your mother goes in water, they go in water. If the mother goes on the road, they go on the road. Just follow it. So those newly hatched chicks, since they had no mother to be seen around, and they were kept near to the cage where this robot was having random movement, these chicks mistaken this robot for their mother. So they were having this intention to be near their mother. So they were just making sounds and being on the one corner of the cage towards the robot. Now, this robot is completely unaware of anything. It's a machine, it's doing random movements. But what ended up happening, the movement of the robot was seen more and more near the chicks. But this outcome was nothing short of unimaginable, unexplained by any known laws of physics or no laws of science or scientific understanding we have. This was something which baffled scientists, right? And this just shows the power of your intention, and even something as small as a chick can have that much influence on a random movement of a robot, that the movement is now constricted or limited towards the one corner of the cage where these chicks were placed, right? So this just goes on to say you should not take your intention lightly. And whenever you wake up, and Dr. Joe Dispenza is a very strong proponent of this, whenever you wake up, you should not let your day start without you having picturized it or visualized it step by step. This is called segment intending. You basically visualize, divide your day into certain segments, and then visualize each segment and what outcome you want out of each segment. It's very important, because most people just believe that their thoughts, their feelings and their intentions have no power, but it has all the power. It has been shown from data, and it might not be evidence based, but this is empirical data based. So evidence is something which there is something scientific explanation of it. Well, we have a lot of the data in the quantum science, but we don't have like real evidence. But something is based on empirical data, which is you generate a lot of data. So for example, if you take a sample of 100 people and all of them have visualized their day, right? and then they just go about doing their business. And there is an equally different sample of 100 people who have not visualized their day, and they just go and do their business, right? If you'll ask the people who have done the visualization, they will tell you that their day was steered 80 to 85% of what they have imagined it to be. So the universe actually helps us, and this is empirical data. This has been generated and been recorded for a lot of people. So don't discount intention and the power of visualization. How it works, we'll talk about it later in this video. But there is something to be there's something to be it's very important to realize that this works, and it has worked for a lot of people. So there's nothing harming us not to try it, right? Now, what is the evidence-based data or experiment that has been done to prove this? Well, there was this experiment where physicists wanted to see how the nature of reality happens. So what they have done, there is this bigger world, where we live in, where the laws of Newton given to us by Newton function, and we know we can then derive, basically build upon these laws to construct this reality and how the reality functions. So this is called as the Newtonian world. Well, if you take a microscope and you focus on anything, it can be this lamp, it can be this table, it can be this camera, and you keep focusing on, keep expanding upon, you will reach to the very small, minutest nature of the matter, which is the atom, right? So the atom is the smallest particle, known particle. Well, as it says, inside atom, there is no matter to be felt. There are electrons, protons, and neutrons, but they don't have a material nature. They have energetic signatures, and they are present at multiple places at the same time. So they are energy in motion, right? But as it says, like through some experiments and through some equipments what we have, we can create an electron gun, a gun which basically fires electrons. So there was an experiment done which is very famous in quantum physics, which basically established the dual nature of reality, meaning this reality is matter and a wave of possibility at the same time. This is very deep concept. This reality where we live in is matter and a wave of possibility at the same time. So what they have done is that they have placed this electron gun, which was passing through a slit, right? And on the other side of the slit is a screen where, when this electron was going through the slit, was hitting the screen, and it is forming a pattern. So to their astonishment, what scientists have observed when they were observing themselves, and they have placed a camera in their absence to observe the hitting of electrons on the screen, they were seeing a particle formation happening on the screen, right? But when they have removed the camera or the presence of a physical person away, there was no particle nature, there was no particle formation now. It's not like a dot of matter is hitting. It is a interference pattern. Interference pattern is a pattern, for very simply, if you have no understanding of science, it's a pattern where the crests of two waves combine to form a maxima, and the troughs of the waves combine to form a minimum. And wherever the crest and the trough of a wave form, it cancels out. So it's an interference pattern. It is like a signature, right? So what they observed when nobody was watching, this same electron was behaving as a wave of possibility. It was not a matter. And when somebody was watching, it is a matter. It was forming a particle, just like a particle is hitting the screen, forming a dot. Just like you shoot a normal bullet on a wall, and it forms a dot. Very simple, but it is so deep and so profound. What it goes on to say, that whenever we close our eyes, whenever there's no observer present, there is no reality. And whenever observer is present, the waves of possibilities collapse to generate this reality. Now, this is not some voodoo stuff. This is not some science fiction. This is clearly present as a finding from this experiment. And this is so deep now. This basically explains everything. This explains why people who are strong meditators, who are able to control their thoughts and are not, spending their energy everywhere. They are able to create the reality because they can then focus, right? And they can collapse the wave functions for the reality they want. I highly recommend for all of you to read who are watching this video, read the book Autobiography of a Yogi. This is the only book written by Yogananda Paramhamsa, which Steve Jobs was a big fan of. And in his funeral, incidentally, everybody was given this book, Autobiography of a Yogi. In that book, why is it hit Steve Jobs? If after reading the book, I tried to think about it. It is just building upon the same logic. In that book, Yogananda Paramhamsa, who was a yogi, he was going to the scholarship schools of these different yogis, starting from Lahiri Mahashay, and after that, he met a number of yogis, and they did fascinating things. For example, one yogi, because of his meditation, was able to fight any tiger, right? One yogi, because of his meditative powers in creating reality, he was able to create any fragrance of a scent, any scent, out of thin air. One yogi, because of his meditative and reality creating powers, was able to delete himself from any photograph. He was never coming in any photograph while others were. So these are the powers which were like built upon this very foundational concept of collapsing the reality, which almost all of us are completely unaware of, which are not reading these books on quantum science, nor on the law of attraction. And as a result, we just get engaged in life and are living by, because of the expectations of people around us. Now, once you understand this, you take the power back to you. You now know for a fact that the power to create the reality lies with you. And with the power of thought, meditation, focus, intention, and above all, visualization, you can collapse the wave functions to create the reality that you want. Isn't it fascinating? Well, I'm working on few programs. I'm working on a lot of meditations where I will teach you step by step. What is the right process, what I think it to be. Now, by no means I'm saying I'm a guru. By no means I'm saying I'm an expert at it. I'm just like you guys. I'm just fan of reading books. Right now, I'm rereading the book Science of Getting Rich. I'm traveling for work, and it is really good. What this book is teaching. So I just read books, and I just want to share the knowledge what I'm getting, and it's just life transforming. This is something which is not taught in school, and very few people, practice this. But it is so liberating, and it just frees us. Once we know we have the power, and the thoughts, we should never take them for granted. Neither our emotions. Alright, if you found this video useful, do give it a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And I will see you again in the next one. Till then, take care, bye-bye. And I will see you again soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Yeah, and if you have any questions, you have any clarifications, you want to comment, share your experience, let me know in the comment section below. And I will see you again in the next one. Till then, take care, bye-bye.